Hi boys and girls, welcome to the reading room. I'm very excited I get to share a very special story with you today. I get to share with you a story that was taught to me when I was learning how to teach children how to read, and now I get to share that story with you. So this story, I'm not going to tell you the name of it yet, I'm going to tell you a story about this story, okay? This story is about some children that live in a country far, far away that's a lot different than where we live. Because in this country, it rains all the time. Can you imagine having rainy day schedule all the time, boys and girls? And it happens on a farm, and on the farm there are some sheep. And when you have sheep on a farm in a place where it rains all the time, you have a special job as the farmer or the shepherd. Because the sheep's wool, the sheep's fur, that's like the fur on the sheep, we call that wool. The sheep's wool is kind of like a sponge. So if you have a dry sponge, it's super light because there's no water in it, right? But if you put water in the sponge, it becomes much heavier. So the sheep's wool collects all those raindrops into the wool, and it's not like the dry sponge anymore. It's like the wet sponge. It gets very, very heavy. So it kind of like be carrying around a really, really heavy coat all the time, because that is their coat, isn't it, boys and girls? Well, when it rains in this place a lot, and the wool soaks up a lot of rain and gets very, very heavy, something happens to the sheep. The sheep can fall down. And when they fall down, all four of their legs go up in the air as they're fighting to try to get up. So the name of this story is called, I'll just show you the book real fast. The name of the story is called The Waving Sheep. So I wanted to tell you that story first because when you read the title, your brain might draw a picture of a sheep going, hello, how are you today? Goodbye, because I'm waving to you, right? But that is not what this means. This is actually about real sheep, not cartoon sheep. A cartoon sheep could wave to you, but not a real sheep. So now when you read the story, the waving sheep means something different. It means when the sheep are kicking their legs in the air and waving them around, and that's what the farmer spots. And the farmer has a really important job to go out and save them, because if they don't help the sheep get back up, I'm sorry, boys and girls, I have something in my eye. If they don't help the sheep get back up, then the sheep could die because it can't eat anymore and it can't drink water anymore, even though it's raining, and it could be very bad for the sheep. So the shepherds or the farmers where this story is happening has a very important job to keep an eye out for those waving sheep. So when you read the title, The Waving Sheep, you should get a very serious feeling because it's a very serious story, okay? So let's look at the word wave, first of all, boys and girls. Oops, I should have put my lid back on. So here's the word wave. And there's going to be a lot of words in this story that started off as magic-y words, but then we've added an ending to the end, okay? So in the title, when we take the word wave and we add an ending to the end, we have to get rid of the magic-y, don't we? And then we add I-N-G, and then the word becomes waving. Are we doing okay, cameraman? Okay. All right, so let's talk about some more words in the story that started off with a magic E, and then we had to take the magic E off to add the ending, okay? And some of these words might look hard because the magic E seems to be gone. But if you take the ending off, remember that's just a Lego that can snap on, snap off, snap on, snap off. If you take off the ending and remember there was probably a magic E there, then the word becomes easier, all right? So I know you can figure out this word, right? So the magic E bonks the A on the head and the A says A, right? So this word is save, but that is not the word in the story. They take the magic E off. It still says save, but then they add ED. So this word is saved. And remember, ED can say da, ta, or ed. And when you connect it to save, it makes the duh sound, doesn't it? All right. And here's another word that has a magic E at the end. So what do you think this word is. This word is smile, isn't it? But if we want to add an ending to the word, then we have to take the magic key off, and then we snap on the ED Lego, because ED is the Lego we're snapping on, right? So this part still says smile, and this part says duh. Smiled, smiled. So those are some words in our story that used to have a magic key, and then they had to take it off to add the ED. Now some words don't have a magic key. This one's kind of a tricky word. You might see this word when you're going into a store, and you may not have been into a store for a while, but sometimes on the door there's directions. There's a word on the door that tells you what to do to open the door. And sometimes we have to push the door open, and sometimes we have to pull the door open, don't we? So keep your eyes out when you go to a store. It's usually written on a thing that goes up and down like this, I think. That's how I remember it in my brain. So look for the word push and look for the word pull. Now the word pull is not in the story, but the word push is, but they also added the ED to the end. So this one is pushed. So if you pushed, when you push the door, if you already did it, it makes the t sound and it says pushed. I was thinking about our big red doors at school, and I was trying to remember maybe a word that I have said to you before, but I didn't think of one. All right, so here's another word that they added an ED to the end, which makes it look trickier, but it's not. If you find a word that's too hard, just cover up the last Lego, because then that makes the word easier for you. And you know ED is a Lego, and there's a lot of them in this book. So just take your finger and cover up the last Lego, and then you can figure out the rest of the word. So what Legos do you see in this word? You have AR, which says R, and you have ST, which says ST, and it says ST, art, start, and put the ED on, and now it says start to end, doesn't it? All right, here's another one. Actually, I'm not gonna let you watch me write it this time. I want you to see what you should do if you think this word is too hard. So here's a word in the story, and it might be too hard for you, so what's the first thing you should do? You should cover up the ED, because that will make the word look easier for you. So now we have this word. Now, do you remember what the vowels are? A, E, I, O, and U, right? And remember we have short vowel sounds and we have long vowel sounds. So this O could say ah, or this O could say O. And if we were at school, I would say, which sound do you want to try first, boys and girls? So let's try ah. Ah, raw. Does that sound like a word we know, boys and girls? It doesn't. So let's try O. O, roll. So this word is roll. If we put the ED on the end, now it says rolled. And that makes the duh sound, doesn't it? So do you see how many ED words there are in this story? Now, besides adding the ED Lego to the end of words that you already know how to read, because we have to make it a little bit harder for you because you're getting so smart, right? They also can add the ING Lego to the end of the words. So let's go back to the word wave. Right, here was wave. And now we're gonna add ing. So we're gonna have to take the magic key off and add the ing, right? So this one was wave-ing. All right, now let's look at this Lego. Or this word, I should say. It has lots of Legos in it. So if this word was too hard for you, what could we do? We could take off the last Lego, right? Now what do you see inside this word? You should see ing, and if you see ing, then you know it says ing. And you should see brr. So this word is brr-ing, brr-ing, right? Well, we've had words like this before. If we add another ing to it, now it says bring-ing. Remember, you just say what you see. So it looks tricky, and it kind of looks silly because there's two ings, but we need to say it twice. So we say bring-ing. Do you remember when we had the word singing? That one had two ings in it. All right, what do you see inside this word? You should see ing again, right? And now this one, you just have to drive your car and sing it. This one says milk, milk-ing. So if they're living on a farm, They're probably milking the cows, aren't they, boys and girls? Remember, the story takes place on a farm. And let's see, what do you see inside this word? You should see AI, two vowels go walking, right? So who gets to do the talking? The A gets to do the talking, and he usually says his name. So he says A, rain, rain, and we already talked about that, right? The rain is what's causing the problem with the sheep, isn't it? All right, what do you see inside this word? You should see two vowels go walking, and who gets to do the talking? The E gets to do the talking, doesn't it? And it usually says its name. So let's say his name. He-V. See the Y at the end? He-V. Does he-V make sense, boys and girls? Well, if E doesn't work, then we should try the other E sound, which is E. He-V. Heavy. So this word is heavy. And we already talked about that, didn't we? When the rain goes into the wool, it gets very heavy. So think about the meaning of the story if you cannot remember what some of these more difficult words are. All right, now this word has O-W in it, doesn't it? And O-W usually says ow, but at the end it says O. So this is show. Show. And what do you see inside this word? You should see E-N. Don't forget about big mouth. E, N, and then this is a soft C, and the magic E doesn't talk. Fence, right? Now this word had E-N in it, and I did it for this word because what you should see inside this word is also the E-N. Don't forget about big mouth. N. All right, so now we have CH says cha. We can say I. DR says dr. Let's sing it. Ch. Children. Children. So this is big mouth eh. This is big mouth eh. And then here's an easy word, but you sometimes forget about big mouth. So big mouth here, big mouth here. Don't forget about big mouth here. Oh, did I write it too small, cameraman? Legs, legs. So lots of big mouths in this story, isn't there? All right, and now we have this word. O says ooh, right? Boots, boots. Why do you think they would need boots on in this story, boys and girls? Because it's raining, right? They probably have rain boots on. All right, what do you see inside this word? ER says The O could say ah, or the O could say O. So which one do you think you should try? If it doesn't make sense, try the other one. It does say O. Over. Over. We've had that word several times, boys and girls. And then this word has a chunk in it. What chunk do you see inside this word? I-G-H-T says ite. That's a big Lego, isn't it? Took care of lots of letters. So this Lego says ite. This Lego says ite. Right. All right. Now the characters in this story are going to be Dad. And I think we've had stories with these children in it before, boys and girls. This one is Daniel. So if you get stuck on it, look for Dan. Daniel. And this one is Jess. And then what do you see inside this word? Sloppy writing, writing upside down. Sorry, boys and girls. All right, so you should see and, grand, and then Ma. Remember my Disney shirt that I wear that says Mama? There's Ma again. Ma. All right. I had a little boy remember that. I thought that was really fun that he remembered that one day. All right, now we have a group of special words in this story, and they're called contractions. And we've had them before. So we have this one, and this one comes from let us, like we could say, let us go outside to play, or you could say, let's go outside to play. All right, here's another apostrophe S one. This one could be where is, or snap it together and it says where's. Here's another is one. This one could be it is, or snap it together and it says it's, right? And then we have some that don't have an apostrophe S, they have apostrophe T. This one comes from do not, so you could say do not do that, or you could say don't do that. Hopefully your parents are not having to tell you that too much right now. You think they are? I hope not. All right, here's another apostrophe T. So this one comes from cannot, or it could say can't. And then the last one is this one, and then remember this one comes from I will, and it says I'll. All right, so this story has a lot of contractions, and I have them written on a card that we'll practice one more time before you start reading. All right, so those are our figured out words. Those are the character names in the story. Those are contractions, and the last thing we need to go over are our sight words. So I'm going to show you all the sight words. See how fast you can say them. This will tell you how many times you should watch this video. Because if you don't know these words when I show them to you, or you can't say them fast, then maybe you can watch this video and fast forward a little bit till we get to the sight word part and keep practicing these sight words. Because remember, your sight words are your resting words. So you want to be able to look at them and say them fast so you can use all your brain energy on the figure them out words, okay? All right, so I'm going to show you the words first, and then we'll have a little contest to see if I can say them faster than you. Are you ready? So, can you see them okay? Or do you want to zoom a little bit? Go ahead and zoom a little bit. Okay, I'll wait for my cameraman. You good, cameraman? Okay. All right, so let's see how fast you can say them. Was it upside down? Oh, this one. All right, we'll talk about this one in a minute, boys and girls. All right, and then here's all of the contractions. See how fast you can say them. All right, did you say them fast? Remember, if you couldn't, or if you found one that you couldn't find, just watch this part of the video several times, because they're not only going to be in this book, they're probably going to be in the next book too. So get those good and stuck in your brain, okay? All right, let's see if you can beat me. Here we go. All. Actually, I'm going to do something different. That's too tricky. Let's just do this. Ready? See if you can beat me. Again. Who. Your. Remember, if you know you, you know your. You just add an R to the end. Put. Which is kind of like the word pull that we talked about. Put. Walk. If we add an ed to the end, it would say walked. If we add an ing to the end, it would say walking. And then this one is find. If you said find, that doesn't make sense. So you know to make the long vowel sound, okay? And then this one, let me get my pointer. I'll get a pen that's shorter. Can you see good, cameraman? Let's, where's, it's, don't, can't, I'll. Now remember, you can't say I will, because that's not what the letters say. I'll. It means I will, but you can't say I will. All right, so that's the end of part 1 of our video for the waving sheep. I think you're gonna like this story, boys and girls. It's one of my favorites. So don't forget to watch part 2, video number 2, because that's when you actually get to read it, okay? If some of these words were hard, please watch this video again so you can get that stuck in your brain, all right? All right, I love you, I miss you. Bye-bye for now.